Welcome to Spooky Southern Storytime. I know I'm a little bit late doing this morning, but I had a lot of stuff to do today. I'm always busy. You would think I'm one person. Why would I be so busy? One person with a bunch of cats. Anyway, so today's story, we are going to be talking about, it is from the South, and you're going to be very excited. It's about the Loup-Garou. Yes, you can call it the Loup-Garou, or you can call it the Rougarou. It's basically Louisiana's version of a werewolf, shapeshifter werewolf, whatever you want to call it. I grew up with stories about the Rougarou. Even though I lived in northern Louisiana, it's mostly seen and been encountered in southern Louisiana. But, as kids, we were always told, you better behave or the Rougarou is going to come get you. Yeah, every kid in Louisiana knows that story. It's basically just to tell us to behave yourselves or we're going to feed you to a shape-shifting werewolf. Great parenting. Awesome. So, we're going to talk about the Rougarou, and I actually have a story from someone else that I found that is about the Rougarou, an encounter they had with their dad with it. So it's very, very cool. Let's see. With the Rougarou, it's been a lot of the indigenous tribes also had their own version of like a Bigfoot Rougarou, and that's what everybody thinks the Loup-Garou is like a Bigfoot, but it's actually not. It's Loup-Garou actually is French word for werewolf. So the encounters that a lot of people have, they say that it's got the body of a human but head of a wolf. Or they've had the ones where they've seen they have red eyes and it's got a skeletal face and it's very scary, but you're not supposed to call on the Rougarou. If you do, you are cursed. There are so many different iterations of where the Rougarou came from. It's very much like if you didn't adhere to Lent. This is from the Catholics, of course. If you didn't adhere to Lent, you would turn into a Rougarou for a whole year. You were cursed to be a Rougarou. Or if you called on it, it would come and devour you. It would stalk you in the swamps. It would just prowl around looking for... Hold on. Sorry, a FedEx truck had to drive by, but we're talking about the Rougarou. So I'm going to read you this story that came from someone. I never encountered the Rougarou. I've had people, my papa said he heard and saw things down in the bayou many, many times when he was fishing and everything like that. But I don't know if he actually encountered the Loup-Garou or if it was just, other creatures of the swamp. But he had some very interesting things happen in the bayou. So I'm going to read you this story and be freaked out if you want. It's fun. But the Loup-Garou is very much a story you tell the kids to make them behave and everything like that. It came from Catholicism of if you didn't, behave yourself, you would turn into one. Or it was always cursed to pass it on to another person or something like that. But it's a shapeshifter. It can take any shape or form it wants to. So here we go. So this happened to me a few years ago. I was visiting a friend's house in the Houston River area. The section of the river is pretty swampy, so we were frog hunting at night. Yes, we do that in Louisiana. We frog hunt at night. We also crawfish hunt after it rains. It was a full moon, so it made spotting the bullfrogs easier. Super tasty, by the way. I don't eat frogs. I'm good. Anyway, we're wandering down by the riverbank when we heard a sound. All went quiet, not even the crickets chirped. We heard dozens of frogs dive into the water. We knew then that something was very, very wrong. When the swamp goes silent, you know something's wrong. Then came a distant growl, like something evil. We knew something was there, and then we heard the growl. And it came from the other side of the river. We killed our Q-beam spotlights and watched in the direction of the sound. What I saw chilled me to the bone. It was like a massive wolf with patchy black fur, yet no visible skin on its head, only a skull with empty eyes. It appeared to lock on to other prey, so we shut off our lights and watched for a moment. Looking back, it was really stupid not to flee right then. It ran back into the woods and started running down the river. We decided to dip out and get as far away as possible. Now that is one of the many, many stories people have had of encounters with the Loup-Garou. A lot of people will try to chalk it up to me and, oh, maybe it was a sickly bear, or it was, maybe you mistake it for like one of the black bears or any of the we know what bears look like in Louisiana. We're not dumb. We know. But the Rougarou, if you call on it, he might come eat you. But everyone thinks it's a Bigfoot. It's not. It's not a Bigfoot. Bigfoots don't shapeshift. The Loup-Garou will. So, enjoy. Hope you guys are having a beautiful day.